Rise and shine. It's time to get the day started with the morning show of record for the Homestead community. It is the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. On today's show, foreign aid, helping so much it hurts. Good morning, everyone, and welcome in all the morning crew, everybody that's here. I hope your Friday is off to a great start. I am on my way to work presently, so this is a Memorex day. Sorry to disappoint you all, and believe me, I would much rather be here live with you guys, enjoying the chat and sharing the things for today. It is Friday, February the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. It is not too late to get out there and get any last minute things you need to do, any last minute things to take care of. But first and foremost, I must say happy Valentine's Day to my lovely wife, Cindy. Hard to believe, 15 Valentine days together. That's a quite impressive streak, I must say. 15 years of celebrating Valentine's together. It's going to be great. Anyway, moving on. Today's weather here is a low of 28 and a high of 52, partly cloudy. Definitely a warm up from yesterday's cold, but don't get too comfortable with it because the temperatures are going to be dropping, especially in the next week. We've got some single digits. We've got some snow on the forecast. Winter is not giving up so easily. Sorry to say. But enjoy the day today. That's what it is. Enjoy the weather we have today. So let's move right on into today's reality smackdown. Smack. Here we go. Right off the top, great news. Happy day. RFK Jr. confirmed as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Let the games begin. Let's see what really gets to happen here. I suspect there's going to be some Doge-like cuts happening real soon. And right along beside that, Brooke Rollins confirmed as Secretary of Agriculture. So here we go. 2 confirmations same day. And both of those people have pledged to work together to help kind of get things squared away and hopefully back in the favor of Americans and back in the favor of small farms and small farmers and homesteaders and healthy, make America healthy again. That's the movement, and I think it's bigger than RFK Jr. or anybody else, and it's definitely driving a lot of what's going on, and we're looking forward to seeing the results. Anyway, next, Trump FBI pick Kash Patel clears the Senate panel and headed for a confirmation vote. Expect that one to go on through as well. It was a nice tight little vote on the others, but anyway, so Kash Patel headed for confirmation. Yes, whiteout conditions cause 100-car pileup in Oregon as drivers stranded. That's some terrible news. Hate to hear that, but it is that time of year in places, and so if you're out there on the roads in the weather and the wind, be careful, be prepared. Have things in your car during this time of year, so if you get stuck, you got what you need. And Arkansas news: former Arkansas Governor Jim Guy Tucker dies in 1981. He took over when Bill Clinton became president and was there until. And then Mike Huckabee came behind him. A lot of controversy to that, but we're not going to besmirch and stuff. But anyway, Jim Guy Tucker died at 81. That is today's reality smackdown here on the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. And folks, listen, hey, today is this day, February the 14th. Let's see what happened in history. Could be some interesting things. 1803. Now listen, this one's a hot one right here. 1803, Chief Justice John Marshall declares that any act of the U.S. Congress that conflicts with the Constitution is void. Did you hear that again? I'm going to repeat that. 1803, Chief Justice John Marshall declares that any act of the U.S. Congress that conflicts with the Constitution is void. Think some people need to go back and reread that one. Now, I'm sure they're going to say that courts and things said things different, but I like this guy's interpretation. Anyway, moving right on, 1855, Texas is linked by telegraph to the rest of the United States with the completion of a connection between New Orleans and Marshall, Texas. And we've been hearing how great it is down in Texas ever since. I don't know. Just saying, all y'all Texas folks. Y'all love you some Texas. Anyway, just poking a little fun, folks. 1929, Valentine's Day massacre in Chicago. 7 gangsters are killed, allegedly on Al Capone's orders. And some might even say, oh, Al was there. I don't know. Kind of put a stain on Valentine's Day. Anyway, moving on. 1957, Southern Christian Leadership Conference organizes in New Orleans with Martin Luther King Jr. as its president. Great and wonderful, great things done. But anyway, moving on. 1971, 13th Daytona 500. Richard Petty wins his 3rd Great American Race, goes on to win the inaugural Winston Cup title. So there's something for all you NASCAR folks. 1989, the Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini, issues a fatwa calling for the death of Salman Rushdie and his publishers due to his novel Satanic Verses. And a bounty is also placed on his head. I remember when that was in the news. That was a big deal. But on to happier times. 1992, comedy film Wayne's World, starring Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, based on their Saturday Night Live sketch premieres. Wayne's World, Wayne's World. Anyway, party on, Wayne. Party on, Earth. That's right. Wayne's World. Anyway, little fun this morning, folks. Very, very, very important milestone for all people, YouTube. 2005, online video sharing site YouTube is launched in the U.S. by Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawad Kareem, headquartered in San Bruno, California. Well, hey, here we are. All 20, that'd be 20 years later. 20 years later today, YouTube, look at it. Wow. Anyway, so awesome job, guys. Anyway, 2019, Oklahoma City guard Russell Westbrook makes a triple-double, 44 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists. And that sets an NBA record for the 11th consecutive game with a triple-double. Quite impressive, Mr. Russell. Quite impressive. And the fact that it happened in Oklahoma with the Thunder, even better. Anyway, so here we go, folks. That is this day in history. Hope some of that was entertaining. Hope some of that was interesting. Made you go, wow. Anyway, that's the purpose. All righty. We're going to move right into today's topic. Foreign aid. Helping so much it hurts. What do we do when foreign aid? Foreign aid's a hot topic right now, especially with U.S. aid and all the stuff that's going on. And, a lot of opinions. I've had my opinions about foreign aid and stuff for years. And I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it should have been ended, in the sense that it was from a long time ago. We're sending all this money overseas to these countries. Nothing wrong with being charitable, but I don't think it should have been through that. But we'll get back into that. We'll get into my opinion more later. But anyway, foreign aid, helping so much it hurts. Is that possible? I think it is. And of course, we're going to go over to our good friend, Joel Salatin, because again, Joel provided a great topic. So his said was foreign aid isn't. And he's got 2 personal stories about foreign aid, and I'm going to read this, and then we'll get through this little thing here, and then we'll get into some comments. Bear along with me on this, but I will try to be a good reader for you all today. But I can't put it in better words than Joel did on this with these stories. He says some 20 years ago, Slow Food asked him to be part of the U.S. delegation attending the International Slow Food Convivium in Turin, Italy, hosted by Carl Petrini. He went with Michael Paul. Interesting. But anyway, he goes on to say every time he wasn't speaking, he attended presentations by a delegation from an African country. And every single one started with something like this. We have plenty of resources. We can feed ourselves. You Western countries need to leave us alone. Your cheap food dumping displaces our farmers by lowering prices to the point our indigenous agriculture can't compete. These displaced entrepreneurial farmers and food system folks then get bored and become warlords and gang leaders. Joel was stunned, as much as I expect some of y'all are right now, and I know I was when I read this, and even when I read it to Bro, when I read it to Keith, he was wow. So, that's it. A blanket indictment over and over again. He spent the entire multi-day stay apologizing for being an American, and that's terrible. It made him realize this aid was about empire building, leverage, creating dependency, and just about anything except real help. And he says it also made him paranoid about traveling abroad to give advice. And he said since then they invite folks there to their farm, from there to their farm, and give free admission to some of our educational seminars. That way they can see it in our context and adapt it to theirs much better. And then story number 2. This is another one that's just like wow. After Chernobyl blew up and rained radioactivity across the dairy region of Belarus, the country faced food and economic deprivation because they couldn't drink their milk. The radioactivity had settled into the mammary glands of the cows. The U.S. sent hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign aid to help. How kind. A couple of months later, a delegation from Belarus came to Washington, D.C. to meet with U.S. officials. Former deputy ambassador who was friendly with Joel asked if he could invite them to Polyface Farms to see a non-chemical farm. He said a couple of days later, 3 black limousines arrived at the house bearing 3 top officials from Belarus. They're equivalent to our Speaker of the House, Secretary of Agriculture, and a third that he can't remember. But anyway, they're all number 2 under the Prime Minister. He took them on a farm tour. They were completely engaged, interested, and one of Joel's favorite words, gobsmacked. In short, they got it. We ended on the porch with hot tea and homemade zucchini. Here is what they said. The day the U.S. aid landed in our bank, every hotel in the capital filled with U.S. corporations selling equipment, seeds, chemicals, and material. We spent all that money in a couple of months on equipment we didn't need, seeds that wouldn't grow, and material too expensive to keep up. Sounds kind of, familiar. I think I've heard this somewhere. Anyway, it was a circle. All the money went straight back to U.S. companies. If we had spent that money on what they've seen at Polyface, not only would they have fed their people that had enough left over to export. That is crazy. That's insane, right? And he says he could go on to tell more stories, but these are average. U.S. foreign aid is all about enriching big corporations' taxpayer dollars, ultimately impoverishes the peasants by enriching the lords of the culture. Meanwhile, it hurts the countries getting the aid. And he says he's traveled the world, interacted with people like this. He's come to the conclusion that the U.S. should not send any foreign aid to anyone, anytime, for anything, period, even to Israel. He said, yes, even Israel. They can buy stuff. So can Ukraine. Bring all of these meddlesome outfits home. Disband them. And Paul Harvey used to admonish, why don't we hoe our own garden instead of hoeing others? Now, he goes on to say, no military aid, no food aid, no construction aid, no nothing. Close down all foreign military installations. Become like Switzerland. Don't give a penny to a single NGO. This I definitely agree with. Let them raise their own money. This doesn't mean philanthropy stops. It means charity won't come from coercion. Try not paying your taxes and see how voluntary that deal is. You can't build charity on a foundation of coercion. How do we stop foreign aid? So now that you've stopped sharing this for a minute, come back over to you guys. That was quite a story. I'll be honest with you. When I read that, it was like, I seen it early and I just didn't get to it. But when I read it, it was like total, surprise, shock, sort of not. I've been in foreign countries. I've been around military bases, etc. I've seen how things can go. But this idea that, we sent money that, sending stuff over that we're actually hurting because we take we take this approach. But the second half of that story, when he was talking about Belarus and the things that happened after Chernobyl and how they were given this money, and then all these corporations show up to help them spend it. And all that money, it just ended up coming right back here. Now, on one hand, you might say, that's good. Okay, it came back to American, the money came back as goods went over. But it didn't do anything to help those people. The only people who got helped was the corporations that were over there involved in it. The people didn't actually get help. And so, oftentimes I think that we need to stop asking, or stop saying, here's help, and start saying, do you need our help? And what kind of help do you need? Or maybe just kind of taking a different approach instead of but again, money laundering, money scamming, however you want to look at it, that's the overarching opinion. Now, some of the comments on Joel's blog get quite interesting, and I'm going to go back over to those, and we're going to go through some of that and listen, even though I'm not there, please leave stuff in the chat, and please leave comments on the video. Of course, always hitting the like and all that, share and stuff. But let's go on back over here and let's get back onto this. All right. Comments. So anyway, foreign aid is taking money from the poor people in rich countries and giving it to rich people in poor countries. That was from Ron Paul. That was a quote from Ron Paul. Interesting way to put that. Chew on that one for a minute. Taking money from the poor people in rich countries and giving it to rich people in poor countries. Seems to me, let's see, I don't really that one much is, anyway. Let's see now. Well, okay, medical aid, share personal experience. Hopefully get the message dude. Somebody had good help there. Let's see. How do we stop the criminal enterprise of foreign aid? We back the efforts of the Trump administration to shut down as much of the government as possible every hour of every day. And if they slow down, we encourage them publicly and loudly. Call your reps, send letters to the president, help all your friends do the same. It's your clueless friends. The only point in any of this is funnel money out of your paycheck and into the bureaucratic machine and its puppet masters. The time of passive American compliance must end. If we let bureaucrats spend money, their lust will never be sated. Very true. I agree. There's no such thing as a free lunch. That's right. But anyway, okay. This person said during their junior year of indoctrination camp, I was lucky enough to have a professor from Zimbabwe. One day he gave a speech or rant about the devil of foreign aid and how it ravaged his home country. Said those pictures of small children bloated bellies. He explained that prior to foreign interference, mothers averaged a new babe every 3 to 5 years, nursing each child well into their toddler years to ensure a healthy start. Mothers who got pregnant again soon after birthing were shamed because it was viewed as a form of neglect. But then came milk powder and milk replacers. Formula replaced mother's milk, and the next thing you know, the stigma of having back-to-back children was gone, rapidly increasing the birth rate while simultaneously resulting in sickly and undernourished children. His message was clear, and America needed to attend to its own problems and leave Africa alone. I want to go read this. This have I read personally, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I think I want to read that book. No more aid. Let's rebuild our country, help our people. Anyway, let's see. Giving foreign aid is about feeding people. It's about getting rid of the grain, dairy, and other surplus products. Farm welfare system we have here in the USA was this guy's opinion. I don't know. Maybe. Stories need to be shared. Let's see. Certainly time to try a different approach. There's proof of that. Thank you for your insight. Let's see. Somebody said, oh my gosh, I've been saying this for my whole life. America should only take care of America. Let the rest of the world take care of themselves. Some people said, different things. Good place to start advocating for term limits for both the Senate and the Congress. No kidding. Second place, be involved in local government. They accept hand from the federal government and end up mimicking the lunacy of the feds. Yep, that does happen, Ranger Rick. That does happen. Says to tie an audit to each and every gift, or better yet, just don't give. I think a lot of this stuff needs to come from, through organizations, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. I've never said this was a comment from the movie Poverty Inc. 2014. Right after the hurricane, U.S. was dropping bags and bags of rice to feed the distressed country. That was nice. But then demand began to say U.S. continued to drop more and more rice, which then put the local farmers out of business. Sound familiar? Happens there too. Because they couldn't compete with the price of free. As we all know, something is really free. The Indian man took the camera and paraphrased, stop trying to make us dependent on your country. We want our freedom. Ain't that right? We want freedom. Stop being dependent on the government. Stop being dependent on the country. How can we help? What kind of aid should we give? Heartfelt and prayerful aid. But anyway, change what we're doing. More attention of the aid should be first. Let me see. Let's see. Get rid of the Federal Reserve Bank. It's not federal and it's not a reserve. It's a cartel of private banks that have hijacked our country through inflation, are stealing our wealth and our future. The reason why foreign aid exists is because money is printed endlessly as it is not backed by anything. That's from Matt T. Yeah, there you go. See. Da, 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 da. When Helping Hurts, there's an excellent book. Talks about these issues. I'm going to look that one up too. Honest and well-run nonprofit organizations like Compassion, Samaritan's Purse, are not the globalist slush funds, pastoration perfect. That's older stories, accountability. Anyway, so yeah. I like this. There's a good one. If Franklin Graham tried to run Samaritan's Purse like the federal government ran USAID, he would get tarred and feathered. Instead, he runs Samaritan's Purse with a level of transparency, efficiency, genuine compassion that the federal government will never be capable of. I like that. That's a good one. But anyway, let's see. There's some other stuff. I would encourage you, get there's some of that stuff that goes on. I'm going to stop sharing because, man, it gets deep. But listen, folks, it is that's just kind of thing. We help. It looks good. Listen, for politicians, it looks good. Okay, it's about optics. It looks good. Oh, we're helping this. We're compassionate. We're helping. But as we've seen there, stories and shared stories, and I'm sure things there that we're not really helping. This money's moving around and this and the other. In a lot of cases, we're actually hurting. And I think that's why it does need to be in the hands of charitable organizations, private organizations, along the lines of Compassion, Feed the Children, Samaritan's Purse, and many more like that. I'm not going to be able to name them all, but those ones like that that are ran from the right purposes and right heart and are not, just government sending over people and funneling money or funneling all this stuff in, and it's not really helping. It's actually causing problems. And that's what it is. Not to mention, hey, it's taken, it's coercion. I think I like that best. It was by coercion. It's through your taxes. It's through, tax funded. And we got, they just keep doing this stuff. But as we've seen with USAID and some of the things that money's being spent on, as well as other things, and I'm sure more stuff's going to come out. As DOGE makes its way through these different agencies, I think we're going to hear some shocking numbers and even more lack of transparency. And the fact that there's congressmen, representatives and stuff up there who believe that they owe us no explanation, that we the people have no right to anything, that we have no right to any kind of transparency or to see the book, so to speak. And in fact, Elizabeth Warren on January, at the end of January, said such, that she didn't nowhere in the Constitution did it say that we're, that they're obligated to tell, to let the people see, we the people see how they spend our tax money. And she's dead wrong. Article 1, buried in Article 1 of the Constitution, is an exact clause that says that no money shall be taken from the Treasury except by legal act or lawful act of Congress, and that they are required to report or to publish the spending and account, an audit, if you will, an accounting of this money. That was in the Constitution. So the last time, so we do have a right to know, and they should. Because if they hide it and they bury it, because I'll promise you, as we're finding out with DOGE and as we're finding out with the reaction to it, people are angry and they're getting angrier about that. And so listen, be charitable. If you have it within you financially to give to charities and donate to these organizations that go over to these countries and actually help, and even right here in our own country, through church organizations, other things, like I said, some of the ones we listed, by all means, we should be charitable. But our government job is to provide for the common defense and promote the general welfare, the general well-being of the United States of America first. And out of that abundance, we as Americans, as individuals, can give and can share and can help. But to force feed it is wrong. And that is why I say foreign aid, helping so much, it hurts. Well, I hope you all got something from that. By all means, go out to look up the Lunatic Farmer, look up Joel Salatin's blog, subscribe to it. You get some great stuff, content like that. And I appreciate what he puts out because it allows, one, there's a lot of thought, and two, I get the luxury of having some great content to share with you guys. and see what you think. So I look forward to reading comments and seeing the thumbs up and all that stuff. But let's move on. It is time to move on and wrap this thing out. Tip of the day, and guys, this one is for you. And the ladies can feel free to give a thumbs up and chime in and second this motion. Never ask a woman who is eating ice cream straight from the carton how she's doing. Just a word of advice. Yeah. Read into that what you want. Probably not going to go so well. I'm just saying, But anyway, so hope you enjoy that tip of the day right there. And guys, put it to good use. Okay. And if you got to ask, it's probably you. That's the general consensus. Yeah. Anyway, so let's go through some upcoming events. We'll move through these. We're winding down on time. Again, February, this Saturday, tomorrow, Southwest Arkansas Homesteading Conference in Nashville, Arkansas. Hope they have a good time down there. And if you're in the area, swing by down there. Look it up on the old Google machine and find a lot about it. Anyway, February 21st, 22nd, that is next weekend. Homesteaders of Iowa Expo 2025, Bridgeview Center, Ottumwa, Iowa. Our good friend Monty Shrunk, the Suburban Sodbuster, is going to be there. Feel free to go out and look up Monty's channel, the Suburban Sodbuster. Great stuff, great guy. Anyway, next up, Boston Mountain Homesteading Workshop, March 1st, Chester, Arkansas, right in my backyard. A day of learning and a day of classes. It's going to be a good time. March 21st and 22nd, that's right, Okie Homesteading Expo, Mays County Fairground, Pryor, Oklahoma. Tickets are on sale now, $50 2-day pass. The lineups are going to be great. Many of the people who chime in on chat and, of course, ourselves, and many of the people are going to be at that Okie Homestead Expo. So if you can make it out, look forward to seeing you there. And coming Tuesday, big announcement about that from the Farm2Table Direct Show. Anyway, just tease that out a little bit. So you got to tune in Tuesday. Anyway, Arkansas March 29th, the week following, Arkansas Homesteading Conference, Cleveland County Fairgrounds, Rising, Arkansas. That's now a second or third year event. Hopefully it's growing, doing well. April 12th, New Beginnings Homestead Expo, Nowata, Oklahoma. Keith and I will be there. Chris Reeves is the pastor of that church putting that on, and it is he's now his third time doing it, second year. I know he's done two others. Keith went up to one and provided some coverage. And anyway, we've been asked to speak there along with Dwayne Hall and some others. So we'll get more information as we get it. But anyway, that is New Beginnings Homestead, Nowata, Oklahoma, April 12th. The Shindig Ozark Living Expo, April 25th and 26th. And Newton County Fair and Rodeo, Jasper, Arkansas. The same weekend, the Homestead Conference, Waco, Texas, April 25th and 26th. Look that up. Anyway, adults are like $99, kids $3 to 17, $13. That same weekend is the YouTube meetup at 10 Killer, the 10 Killer YouTube meetup, 25th, 26th, and 27th. That information's out as well on Facebook and places like that. Anyway, then jumping into June, Homestead Festival at Hardison Mills near Columbia, Tennessee, June 6th and 7th. General admission $75, kids 6 to 17, $25. That is at Rory Feek's place there out at Hardison Mills, and it is huge event. All kinds of stuff going on there. Anyway, Ozark Homestead Expo, Marshville, Missouri, September 5th and 6th. General admission $50, kids 13 to 17, $15. Kids 12 and under free, but must have a ticket. Another great lineup up there this year. Looking forward to being at that one. Our very own Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, Southeast Expo Center, McAllister, Oklahoma, September 26th and 27th, $15. I'll be speaking there as well at that one. And great lineup. A lot of people within the Homestead and YouTube community are going to be there. It's going to be a good time. So check them out, Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous on Facebook or OklahomaHomesteadRendezvous.org. And finally, Homesteaders of America Conference 2025, Front Royal, Virginia, October 10th and 11th. They are running out of tickets. You better grab them now because they're about to be gone. So anyway, that's the events that are coming up. And folks, that is a wrap for today on the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. Thanks for joining in as we explore the headlines for today and in the future. If you enjoyed today's show, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Anyway, it is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. Hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Hope your weather is pleasant for you. Hope you'll get things done. And hope you enjoy the rest of today. And thanks for those that did tune in and watch. Thanks for anybody leaving comments in the chat. And we will be seeing you all on Monday. I'll be back. I'm going to take my last couple of days off. And some of you I will see probably on the Sunday evening, the Sunday Homesteader Sunday ice cream social, whatever we want to call it, and on the YouTube. But anyway, until next time, keep your roots deep, your vision growing. Good food starts with great people like you. And remember, we are #stronger together. Be a blessing to someone today, and we will see you on the other side. Y'all folks have a great day, and we're going to let old Hank take us right on out of here. Take it away.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.